Zazano raises. It's fair to still find this stuff a raising range against his small sizing. Very big raise, in fact. And now Limitless 3-bets. So Limitless is saying, hey, I've got 9-6 and you don't. So we've got Zazano, who's an old school reg from Luxembourg in the big blind, and Yasam Gale raises. He's got this weird avatar. Yasam Gale always has these funny avatars. I have no idea who that is. So he goes to 500 in the cutoff, and Limitless goes to around 11 big blinds, which is, you know, fine sizing. Nothing wrong with that. They're also a little bit deeper here. Yasam Gale does call, which is going to do quite a bit. And this board is pretty good for both of them, mostly for Limitless. Limitless is going to have all the pocket kings, all the pocket jacks, all hands like ace king and, you know, king jack suited. So Limitless is very happy to see this board. And so he goes for a small bet, which he's going to do with a wide range of hands. Yasam Gale's not really going to do a whole lot of raising here. I mean, the board is quite dry. It's not as if he has a huge advantage here. So calling is going to be his main play. Turn, Limitless goes for the check. Makes sense. You're doing a lot of betting on the flop. Maybe not so much on the turn. And if Yasam Gale bets, I think he probably bets a little bit on the bigger side. But he doesn't bet at all. River 5 doesn't help anybody. Maybe both guys could have a hand like ace 5 suited, but other than that, it doesn't really do anything. So if Limitless had some type of decent value hand, he usually can value bet here. Although there's also a bit of value just checking, right? And letting Yasam Gale bluff off with 10-9 suited. So Limitless goes for the overbet here. He is saying, hey, listen, I have 5-4 suited. I have ace 5 suited. I have a hand like pocket jacks. I was trapping you. I even had a hand like ace king. I was checking the turn, and you know now I'm gonna punish you on the river. So he's doing a great job applying pressure to his opponent's capped range. But let's see what Yasam Gale does. Yasam Gale's an action player, so I don't expect him to go away that easily. Wow. Okay. So Yasam Gale has ace queen high and he called the overbet. Pretty sick. Okay. Let's discuss the play. Limitless 3-bets ace 4 suited, fine. C-bets flop, fine. You could end up barreling the turn, but it's fine to just give up. And on the river, it's a hand which has a bit of showdown value, but it's difficult to win a lot, right? So Limitless is thinking, well, if I overbet here, I can get Yasam Gale to be folding hand like ace jack or jack 10, or maybe hand like queens or 10s. And maybe even folds a hand like ace queen as well, right? So, and Yasam Gale's thinking, well, what is Limitless repping here, you know? I block ace 5 suited. If he had a hand like king queen, I block that. He probably would have bet. I block ace king. So he's just going to have a lot of hands like, you know, 10-9 and 8-7 and just random stuff, ace 10. So I'm going to call. Very loose call from Yasam Gale, but I mean, it happened to be right. I'll give Limitless an 8 out of 10. I'll give Yasam Gale... I'll give him an 8 out of 10 as well. So very fun hand to start with. These types of calls, guys, do not generally work at lower stakes. However, at higher stakes where people are extremely aggressive, it does work quite a bit better. Yasam Gale never shies away from a reg game, obviously. And Moonistar calls in the... No, he does not. He actually 3-bets in the big blind to 10 big blinds. And Yasam Gale does call. 10-9-3 is a pretty good board for both of them, as in both guys can have 10s and 9s. Yasam Gale can have pocket 3s. I don't think Moonistar is 3-betting 3s in the big blind. And both guys will have like straight draws like 8-7, queen jack, king queen, all kinds of stuff. So Moonistar goes for the small bet. And Yasam Gale's main play is going to be a call. 7 is not a... I mean, it's not a blank, but it's not the most scary card ever. I could see, especially Yasam Gale having 7s. 8-6 suited is possible, but a little bit unlikely, I would say. So Moonistar goes for a big bet. Makes sense. He's trying to get value with a polarized range. And again, Yasam Gale's going to do a lot of calling mostly. Ace on the river. I mean, Moonistar could have been bluffing with something like ace jack or ace king, and he now got there. His aces could have improved to a set. So let's see if he ends up... he could do everything here. He could actually go for a small bet, but I think more likely is that he goes for either the all-in shove or he goes for the check call. Okay, all in on a call, and okay. So Yasamgale, wow, what a run out. So Yasamgale actually called a 3-bet with 8-6 suited, and he just called down with the nuts, basically. Pretty loose play, but, you know, obviously, you know, you got the nuts, you even have the flush draw, so you got nothing to worry about. So he trapped Moonistar quite well there. And then Moonistar, he had aces. I mean, can't really blame him for betting here, right? I mean, he's got a top set on the river. He could have checked at some point if he wanted to, but betting through is a standard play. So I'll give both of them an 8.5 out of 10. Nice play. We've got Zazano open raising to 2.5x. And Big Blind Bets goes for a pretty standard 3-bet size of 3x in position, 7.5 big blinds. Zazano saying, I'm not letting you just 3-bet me with a wide range in position. I'm going to 4-bet you. Very large 4-bet, probably because they're both quite deep. And Big Blind Bets actually clicks it back, which is very interesting. So he's representing aces or kings at this point. I mean, for 200 big blinds, it's not as if you want to get in hands like queens or jacks here. You'd probably just call this 4-bet. So yeah, Big Blind Bets is repping aces, and Zazano's repping aces, kings, or maybe queens. And this board doesn't change anything. Maybe Zazano could have pocket nines, but that just seems very unlikely. And so since the board is so incredibly dry, no flush draws, no real straight draws, there's no need for Big Blind Bets to bet large. So he goes for a 20% pot bet. Fair enough. And Zazano calls. He's thinking, well, against if Big Blind Bets is bluffing, he doesn't have much equity anymore against my aces or kings, and I don't really need much protection, so I'm just going to call. There's about a pot size bet left on the turn, and Big Blind Bets decides to bet smaller. I mean, you could go for both a small bet or just a shove. Fair enough. Zazano calls once again. So this runout looks quite scary, and in a 3-bet pot, this would be a very scary runout. But if you think about it, I mean, how does Zazano have a 6, right? How does he call a $9,300 5-bet with a 6? Does he, I mean, Jack 10, I guess, is remotely possible, but it's mostly going to be queens, kings, and aces that will be showed down here. And so Big Blind Bets shoves for about a third of the pot. And this was a little bit predictable, right? So Zazano goes for the call of the kings. He's thinking, well, maybe Big Blind Bets says kings himself. Maybe he's bluffing, but of course I'm concerned about aces. And Big Blind Bets did indeed have aces. So I'll give Zazano a 6 out of 10. I'll give Big Blind Bets I'll give him an 8 out of 10. So it's a very strange game, right? Like, why is this game running? It's a little bit confusing to me. As in, maybe a big fish was playing, but we're seeing different lineups the whole time. So it seems like the game ran for quite a bit. So I can obviously think of who the spots are in the game, but yeah, it's kind of confusing as to why this game is running. Anyway, nice hand to both guys. What do you guys think? Zazano open raises 2.5x under the gun. Most people go for around 2.5x, maybe a little bit smaller. So this is one of those boards which is... hold on, let me see what happened here. All right, so Victor calls. We see a 7-5-4 flop, and this board is definitely much better for Victor than it is for Zazano. However, I would still not have a leading range here, and nobody does. So you see right here, Victor, one of the best players in the world, also doesn't have a leading range. Zazano bets a little bit under half pot. Fine sizing. Victor calls. And turn is an 8, which again is better for Victor. And so here you do see a leading range. A lot of guys still don't have one, but this makes a lot more sense. Victor is going to have a substantial 6x advantage over Zazano. So this lead makes a lot more sense. Zazano raises. It's fair to still find this still have a raising range against his small sizing. Pretty big raise, in fact. And now Limitless 3-bets. So Limitless is saying, hey, I've got 9-6 and you don't. And also, I just have a lot more 6s than you in general. So, all right. Zazano calls. So when Zazano calls, he's going to have a set a lot. He's going to have a straight, or he's going to have a flush draw. Maybe 10-9. The 8 definitely changes things. Somebody could have a full house. And by somebody, I mean mostly Zazano. Because if Limitless had pocket 4s, or 5s or 7s, he may have check raised a flop, and he would definitely not 3-bet the turn. I mean, not definitely. Victor's a creative player. I could see him 3-betting the turn sometimes, but it's unlikely, right? When there's a snap call here, Zizano's more likely to win. And Zizano had pocket sevens here, which is fair. Yeah, bad run-on for Limitless. I'll give Limitless an 8 out of 10. I'll give Zizano I'll give him a 7. So nice hand to both guys. And very big pot again, almost $50,000 pot. So nice hand to Zizano.